Hey guys, and welcome to Achieve with Karolina Live. I'm Karolina Romaniuk, child and family sleep specialist and founder of Achieve with Karolina. Tonight, what we're going to be chit-chatting about is not sure if you are ready to transition your little one into a big bed, right? So that's really important topic. And there are certain times that like certain things that you would kind of want to look for before transitioning them into a big bed. So we're going to kind of go into that in the showing signs, when they start showing signs, how to keep them in the crib, and then how to actually do the transition. So that's what I want to chat about tonight. Now, before we begin, let me get out my book. Let's do our gratitude tonight, right? So let's see where we left off. What can we do tonight? So this book is called Daily Greatness Parents Journal, a practical guide for raising conscious kids and creating a happy home. Cool. So every night I want to do one question to ask, and then we get into our topics. So how about this? Let's talk about ourselves. What does my body need right now? So what does your body need right now at this point in time? Maybe it's more sleep. Maybe you're not drinking enough. I know myself, I'm not drinking enough water. So I really need to increase that. My body is like screaming at me that I'm not drinking enough. And I start getting really tired and just, cranky. So it doesn't help anybody. Now, what does your body need right now at this time? Most likely, if you're watching this video, it's probably sleep. So that is something really important that we want to get, obviously. And if that is something that is important to you at this point in time that your body needs, type in the comments below. Let me know. If you're watching the replay, feel free to type that in too. And I guess we will get started. Let me just drink some water. A massive bottle right before. Hey Angel. Hi Nicole. Aloe, too much boat time this weekend. Oh, that's awesome. How was your weekend? How was Memorial Weekend? It wasn't even that great of a weather to be, yesterday wasn't that bad. But I thought it would be like nicer beach weather to go out, and it wasn't. It was like chilly. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to start talking about not sure if I should transition my little one into a big bed, right? So let me know if you guys know the age range in when you should start actually transitioning a child into a toddler bed. Do you guys know? Put it into the comments below. Let's find out what we know. I'm gonna wait a second. I think we're super delayed on this. Okay, cool. So it's really anywhere between 3 and 4 years old. Yeah. So sometimes I get lots of moms and dads that call me and tell me, oh my gosh, my 2-year-old or my 18-month-old is climbing out of the bed. I don't know what to do. That should be a huge indication in the fact that they need to be transitioned into a toddler bed. Right, Karolina? Wrong. That's actually the last thing that you would want to do. Hey Pamela, Nicole, you're saying I feel like I should keep them in their crib as long as they will stay in the crib. Yeah. We were actually at a friend's house today, so she's like, I want to keep my child in the crib until she's 18. Well, we know that's not going to happen, but we do want to keep them in for maybe, close to 3 or 4 years old. That's when they fully understand and they're mature enough to go into a big toddler bed. So toddler beds are super important in the graduation level of when your child is old enough to go from crib into a toddler bed, right? You want to make a big deal out of it because it is. It's something huge, and it makes the fact that, you know, they're not a little child anymore, and that they're becoming more independent, and they get their own bigger change of a sleeping space. So having a toddler bed is something huge. It should be you know, celebrated, and it shouldn't be taken really lightly because it's something really big that your child should know. Hey, Angelica. So just to do a recap of what we're talking about is not sure if you guys should transition your child into a big bed. So what I was saying is that you usually want to do that anywhere between 3 and 4 years old. Now, some kids at 2 years old are mature enough. You know your baby better than anybody else. For an example, like my oldest son, he was super duper ready at 2 years old to transition. So we did that. My youngest, not so much. So we kept him in the crib up until 3, maybe like close, almost like 3.5, and then we transitioned him nicely into a toddler bed. So you know your baby, you know them better than anyone else. Make sure that they're mature enough. And what I mean by that is that usually if parents transition their child into a toddler bed at a young enough age, they get good sleep for maybe a week or two, and then all hell breaks loose after that. So what happens is maybe their toy fell on the floor, or they heard a noise or something. All of a sudden their feet hit the ground and they're like, oh my gosh, I can get out of here and nobody knows. Then what's going to stop them from roaming around in their room or throughout the home, right? So there's a safety precaution there. But when the child is old enough, they know the rules because you're going to explain it to them, right? Toddler bed, once there's a transition to a toddler bed, there should be a set rule in how you sleep in this bed, and you explain to them how you sleep in your bed. So having a set standard of rules is super important on that. But once they're old enough, then they are mature enough and they understand the difference between, you know, obviously being in their crib and then being in a toddler bed. Hey Kim, thanks for joining. So to continue on, when, again, a recap, is a good time to do a transition. So it's usually closer to 3 or 4 years old. Again, some kids are mature enough at 2, but you know your baby better than anybody else, making sure that they are mature enough to go into that transition. Next part is when do they actually start showing signs? I've had kids as early as 18 months, even 16, start showing signs that they are ready to go into a toddler bed. And thanks, Nicole. So what I mean by that they're ready is that they might throw their leg over the crib rail and climb out. You know, they start becoming like little mini Houdinis, and they want to escape that crib and start showing off their new skills, if they are walking, if they're learning how to run. So that's just something fun for them. Plus, it's a hoot to get a reaction out of you going, oh my gosh, you climbed out of the bed, this is amazing, now we get to get you a new fun princess toddler bed, yay! No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to, you know, increase that if they are super duper young, because then what's going to happen is you are opening up the gates for them coming out of their bed and coming into yours or roaming around. There's a huge safety net there that really needs to be established, and that gets broken once your child is super duper young and they are taken out of their bed. Some parents, what they do is they take a mattress and they put it on the floor and they keep their child on that as a toddler bed. Again, you need to know your child and how they're going to react to that. Most cases, they're super duper young at that time to be in their own room in a place where it's not secured. So they can just wander around. And that's really what we don't want. Okay? So those are kind of the starting of showing signs that they want to get their own bed, like a toddler bed, and then transition. So usually once that foot goes over, we kind of freak out, and then we say, oh, that's it. Time to go for a toddler bed. No other way out. Nope, there are plenty of other creative factors that I'm going to go into in this video that you can do to keep your little one safely in their crib and for them to actually want to stay in their crib. Okay? So how do we actually keep our kids in their crib? Now, first things first is, this is something really cool. I did this with my kids. I've done this with a couple of clients as well. It worked really well. You can get a long t-shirt. Maybe get your husband's t-shirt because they're super duper long. So what happens is children, once they try and throw over their leg over the rail, it gets kind of caught within the shirt, and then they just like, forget this, I don't want to deal with it. But here's one thing. If you have a smarty pants in your hands, they might just pick up the shirt and still throw their leg over. So if that happens, then you'll want to move into step 2, which is a sleep sack. And now I know what you're going to tell me. Oh my God, my kid never been in a sleep sack, or they hate it, or I've tried it and it didn't work. Try different brands. It's kind of like pacifiers. You go through a million of them, and then you really just have to find the perfect fabric, the perfect texture, the perfect weight for your child. And also, if it does have a zipper, make sure that if it has a front zipper, switch the sleep sack so the zipper is in the back so they can't open it. Some kids are super duper smart and they just open up the zipper if it's on the side. Also, if it has the clasps on the front, they could just rip it right off. And if it has a zipper in the front, they'll just unzip it. So ideally what you want is to make sure the zipper is in the back. So that's another thing. So then they can't climb out. The other factor is depending on the kind of crib you have. So most cribs, they have one side is flat and then the other side has like an angle. So what you can do is, if your crib looks like that, you can reverse it. So you can have the angle on the outside and the flat surface touching the wall. So those are 3 things that you can do to keep your little one in their crib, and make sure that you are still providing you know, the proper sleep hygiene for them, meaning like a proper sleep environment, keeping the timing, and you're explaining to them that this is super important, that this is your sleeping space. Oh, also make sure you get rid of anything that can be kind of like a launching pad for them. You know, if they have any pillows, sometimes parents like around, you know, toddler age start introducing toddler pillows. They might have a stuffed toy, of course, because they're after the age of 1. You might start introducing Loveys or something like that. They might be able to use that as a launching pad, meaning like line them up in the crib and then step on it and then launch themselves over. So kids, toddlers are super duper smart, and when they want something, they're really adamant about it, which is good, but you kind of have to be a step ahead of them. So those are kind of the first couple of steps that you would want to work on. Now, how to actually transition them once they are ready to go to a toddler bed, right? So first things first is you want to make sure that they're mature enough to understand that there are rules set into place, right? So then that's the second thing, is you need to create a set of rules for your child when they have a toddler bed, and explain to them, this is your sleeping space and mommy and daddy sleep here. If you need us, you can call for us, you know, but we don't want you to come out because, you know, and whatever, fill in the blank. You really want to set set rules and really have them fulfilled, because if they are not, then there's nothing that stops your little one from coming out of their room, going into your bed, and sleeping there all the time. Now, here's a really cool tip that I do with most of my families is, let's say you are transitioning your little one, but they're kind of nervous, or they really want to sleep with you in your bed for the time being, you know, things like that. What you can do is you can create a bedtime pass, a one-time week bedtime pass, and you know, construction paper, write down bedtime pass, maybe the kid's name, like Jake's bedtime pass, and laminate it, whatever you want, you know, be creative, have them design it too, throw stickers on it, stamps, whatever you want, make it a big hoopla party, right? Now, the whole purpose of that is the bedtime pass, once a week, you would have a specific day, and you would, or you can just do it randomly whenever they want. That might be even more fun. So if Jake is wanting to sleep in mom and dad's bed, Jake would come into the room, hand over that pass for that one time during the week, and that's when he gets to sleep with you guys. The other rest of the time, he gets to sleep in his bed and his perfect sleeping space. So also when you guys are shopping for the toddler bed, it's nice maybe to get new bedding for your little one, so they can pick it out too. Have them part of the process. You don't want to just surprise them and say, hey, here's your new bed. We're getting rid of your old sleeping space, and now here we're throwing this new one, and you were supposed to sleep in it all night long without any interruption. No. That shit doesn't fly with toddlers. So you really need to make sure that you are, creating the perfect environment for them, that you're really going gradually at it and making it a big deal. It's graduation time, right? They're not a baby anymore, they're a toddler. So you really want to make that kind of known and praise them for it. For during the day, how awesome they slept that night, how much they love their new bed. Talk about it. Maybe talk about it, during your routine instead of reading a book. You can do that. Talk about it during the day. Don't leave sleeping and your how did I want to say this? Your ideas in what your child's supposed to be doing at night and talking about it at night right before bedtime. That's not going to work. You really want to talk throughout the day in small spurts of it by the time nighttime happens, because kids really need to get drilled into their head, the whole pattern and what's going on. So if you just tell them right before bedtime, like 5 minutes before they got to go to bed, this is what's going to happen, that's not going to happen because they're going to forget about it, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, you only told me one time. You don't mean anything by it. But if you're always drilling it and drilling it and drilling it, that this is our sleeping space, this is where we sleep now, how much do you love your new bed, they're going to kind of understand and go with the flow with it. So those are my tips for you tonight on not sure if you should transition your little one into a big bed. Now, if you like this video, please share it, because you never know who you can help that's on your thread, and like this video. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in now, or if you remember later on, feel free to type them in and I'll be able to respond. And if you guys have any more pressing questions, I have my calendar that I put up on top. Just click on it, schedule something with me so we can get a free sleep strategy session for you guys, so we can dive in a little deeper and get you sleeping. Thanks, Pamela. So I guess that is it for this evening. Sweet dreams, everyone. Next video I'm going to do on Wednesday. So I'm going to do every Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to take a break on Tuesdays. Okay? But if you have any specific topics that you want me to answer, you can always message me or email me at itsme@achievewithcarolina.com. So I will see you, lovelies, on Wednesday. Night. Sweet dreams. Love you guys. Bye.